Royal shocker update. Princess Leonor marries Christian, never before seen ceremony moments. The world thought they had seen everything when it came to royal weddings, polished smiles, rehearsed vows, picture-perfect traditions. But what unfolded inside Denmark's Amalienborg Palace just changed the definition of a royal union forever. Because in a moment the cameras weren't supposed to capture, Princess Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark revealed a truth that shook the very foundations of royal tradition. What really happened during the never-before-seen moments of their secretive royal ceremony? Let's uncover the story no one expected, a royal love that broke every rule and still won every heart. It started like every royal fairy tale does, with grandeur, protocol, and the eyes of the world fixed on two young heirs born into destiny. But behind the gold-trimmed walls and the flawless smiles, a story was unfolding that no palace official could script. Princess Leonor, Spain's future queen, was about to do something no Spanish royal woman had dared before: follow her heart before her crown. Sources close to the royal families confirm that, in the days leading up to the wedding, tension was high between the Spanish and Danish courts. There were concerns over cultural traditions, seating hierarchies, and even the wording of the vows. But Leonor and Christian had already decided, their ceremony would not be about politics. It would be about love. When the royal procession began, every camera focused on Leonor's entrance, her gown, her jewels, her regal poise. But what no one saw was what happened seconds before she stepped out. Witnesses say Leonor paused, took a deep breath, and whispered to her sister Sophia, "No matter what happens, I'm doing this my way." That moment, caught only by a behind-the-scenes camera, now plays like the start of a royal revolution. Inside the grand hall, the air was thick with anticipation. Denmark's royal orchestra played softly as Prince Christian waited, visibly nervous, but smiling in a way that betrayed his composure. When Leonor appeared, every guest rose. Queen Letizia, her mother, held back tears. King Felipe stood proud but silent, his expression unreadable. And then came the first shock. Instead of the traditional Spanish march, Leonor had requested a piece of music that held personal meaning, the same song she and Christian first danced to at a private charity gala 3 years earlier. The orchestra began, and the entire hall realized, this was not just a royal event. This was something far more intimate, far more human. Halfway through the ceremony, just as the officiant began the vows, another moment stunned the world. The palace feed suddenly cut to a wide shot, hiding the couple's faces. But leaked footage, now circulating online, shows what the official broadcast didn't: Leonor turning to Christian, holding his hand tightly, and saying the words, "Before duty, there was us." That single line, unscripted, emotional, defiant, has already been called the vow heard around the world. It broke centuries of royal restraint and turned a historical ceremony into a love story of courage. As she spoke, the camera caught something few noticed at first: Queen Margrethe, Denmark's matriarch, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief. The same woman known for her strict adherence to royal code was visibly moved. And when Christian replied, "And forever, there will be you," the crowd erupted in applause, a breach of royal decorum that even the guards couldn't contain. But the surprises didn't end there. After the official blessing, as the couple prepared to exit, King Felipe stood and did something no Spanish monarch has done in decades: he approached the altar, hugged his daughter, and whispered something that made Leonor's face soften instantly. Though the microphones didn't catch his exact words, lip readers later confirmed it was, "Lead with love, not fear." The moment went viral within hours. Across Spain, citizens flooded social media calling it the most human act by a king in generations. Commentators across Europe described it as the moment the monarchy modernized, not by decree, but by emotion. Yet what came after the ceremony has been even more shocking. Newly leaked footage from inside the palace reveals a private reception moment that was never meant for public eyes. Leonor, wearing her reception gown, a simple, elegant ivory dress without a royal emblem, took the microphone and gave a short, unscripted speech. In it, she thanked her parents, Christian's family, and then said, "We are the generation that will serve, but also feel." The room fell silent, and then erupted in applause. Even Queen Letizia was seen wiping tears. Analysts say this was a turning point, a symbolic declaration that the next generation of royals will rule with empathy, not just tradition. The young couple's approach to their marriage is already setting a precedent. They've reportedly chosen to live between Spain and Denmark, balancing both her duty as Spain's future monarch and his role in Denmark's royal legacy. In private, palace insiders reveal that the couple has refused some of the most extravagant royal privileges, opting instead for simpler traditions. They've personally funded certain parts of their ceremony and requested that a portion of the wedding's public budget be redirected toward youth education programs in both nations, a move praised by citizens and politicians alike. But with admiration also comes controversy. Some traditionalists in Spain's royal circle have quietly voiced concern that Leonor's independence might blur the boundaries of monarchy. Others argue that her authenticity is exactly what the modern world needs, a royal who is relatable, grounded, and unafraid to be real. Days after the wedding, Danish and Spanish media continue to dissect every frame of the ceremony. From the subtle gestures, Christian's hand brushing Leonor's as they walked down the aisle, to the emotional glances exchanged between their parents, each second has become historical analysis material. But through it all, one theme remains: authenticity. One palace aide described it best: for once, the crown didn't feel heavy. It felt alive. As public response grows, royal analysts are calling this the most influential European wedding of the decade. Not because of its luxury or spectacle, but because it changed what the monarchy means to the modern world. It wasn't a performance. It was a declaration that love and leadership can coexist. The leaked behind-the-scenes clips continue to circulate online, showing lighter, joyful moments: Leonor dancing freely with her father, Christian joking with Queen Letizia, and both families mingling like old friends rather than divided monarchies. It was proof that behind the stiff royal facade, there is genuine emotion, laughter, and unity. And perhaps the most touching moment of all came at the very end of the night, long after the cameras stopped rolling. A private security recording caught Leonor and Christian stepping onto a palace balcony, away from the crowd. She leaned against him, exhausted, and said softly, "We made history today." Christian smiled, replying, "No, we made love possible." That clip, only 5 seconds long, has now been viewed over 100 million times. It's being called the balcony whisper, the quiet moment that captured the heart of the world. In Spain, young people are calling Leonor a symbol of change, the first monarch to be. Who isn't afraid to speak like her generation, to love openly, to lead authentically. Danish citizens have echoed the sentiment, praising Christian's calm strength and emotional maturity beyond his years. As both nations celebrate this union, it's becoming clear that this marriage is more than a royal event, it's a message to the world. A message that love, honesty, and humanity can coexist with duty, discipline, and tradition. So when history looks back on the royal wedding of 2025, it won't be remembered for the diamonds or the protocol. It will be remembered for a princess who refused to let fear define her reign. For a prince who stood beside her, not ahead of her. And for a moment, a whispered vow, an uncut scene, that reminded the world what it truly means to lead with heart. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian didn't just marry in a royal ceremony. They reignited belief in something far greater than power. They reminded the world that even the oldest traditions can be reborn through love. Because in the end, the crowns may shine, the palaces may stand, but it's the heartbeat behind them that truly makes history. And on that unforgettable day in Denmark, that heartbeat belonged to them.